Here are the Math 65 Quiz 4 solutions. You're asked to evaluate four products of polynomials, I guess you could think about it. All four of these should look similar to something we had on the worksheet earlier this week. Let's see, the first one, we're multiplying two monomials. So I think the way I would think about this is really this is 2 times x squared times, I'll put the -3 in parentheses just so you can tell it's times -3, not -3, times x cubed. So really what I have here is a product of four different numbers or variables, and I can write them in any order I want. So I could say it's -3 times 2 times x squared times x cubed. And then maybe this is something I can evaluate. -3 times 2 is -6. And x squared times x cubed, turns out that's x to the 5th. If you're not sure why that is, you can think of x squared. Should I write this off to the side? Sure, maybe note x squared times x cubed is really just x times x, that's the x squared, times x times x times x, that's the x cubed, x squared, x cubed. So what I wrote there was x 5 times, so it's x to the 5th. Okay, so right over here is your solution. Maybe I'll throw a box around that and move on to part B. Part B, I guess this is a little easier than part A. Maybe this should have been part A. The only thing that could trip you up here is if you don't remember the different rules. X to the, kind of similar to this note over here, x to the 10th is x times x times x times x 10 times, and x squared is x times x. So really what you do is this is x to the 10 plus 2, which is x to the 12th, which is our answer. And if you wanted, you could write it out in this form. That's just a lot of x's to write out, but if you want to do that, that's fine. You could go straight from this to this answer, that's fine too. Part C, probably the trickiest. Let's see, 2x plus 3 squared. Really, what this is equal to is 2x plus 3 times 2x plus 3. So be careful. It might be tempting to call this, I don't know, 4x squared plus 9, if you could sort of distribute this squared down into the parentheses, but you can't. You have to FOIL this out. See, I think what I taught you was this box method here. You write 2x plus 3 here, and 2x plus 3 here, and you make this little grid. And then you fill in all the boxes. So 2x times 2x is 4x squared, 2x times 3 is 6x, 2x times 3 is 6x, and 3 times 3 is 9. So my answer is 4x squared, this guy right here, plus 6x from right here, plus another 6x, and then finally plus 9 from the bottom right. And I can simplify that. If I have 6x and 6 more x, that's really 12x. And that right there is the final answer. All right, and then finally part D. It looks worse, but I don't think it's any harder than part C. You just do this grid thing again. Maybe we'll throw the x and the plus 2 up here. And then over here we got an x cubed, negative 2x squared, a positive 4x, and a negative 8. And so if I sloppily make a grid, I end up with something like this. And now I can fill in all the boxes. X cubed times x is x to the 4th. X cubed times 2 is 2x cubed. 2 times negative 2x squared is x times negative 2x squared. What goes here will be this times this, is negative 2x cubed. And then negative 2x squared times 2 is negative 4x squared. X times 4x is positive 4x squared. 2 times 4x is 8x. X times negative 8 is negative 8x. And finally, negative 8 times 2 is negative 16. And you might notice that on these diagonals, things will just cancel out. Right? We have positive, negative, but I'll write it all out just in case you didn't see that. We could say this is equal to x to the 4th plus 2x cubed minus 2x cubed. That's x to the 4th, 2x cubed minus 2x cubed minus 4x squared plus 4x squared plus 8x. That was coming from here, here, and here. And then finally, minus 8x and minus 16. And if we combine like terms in here, we got 2x cubed and negative 2x. Well, we got x to the 4th. Then we got 2x cubed and negative 2x cubed. That's no x cubed. Negative 4x squared and positive 4x squared. That's 0. X squareds. 8x and negative 8x. That's 0x. And so we're left with x to the 4th minus 16. And that's the solution, and that's the end of the quiz.